Once, the Owen family was seen as one of Britain's most beloved and down-to-earth farming families. But everything changed in a single dramatic moment on live TV. What was supposed to be a warm and nostalgic return to our Yorkshire farm turned into a shocking and emotional confrontation between Amanda Owen, her ex-husband Clive, and their eldest son Reuben. In front of millions of viewers, years of hidden family tension erupted on camera, leaving fans stunned and saddened. The first episode of the new season didn't open with joy or excitement, but with a strange and heavy tension. The family's comeback was meant to show a new beginning, especially after Amanda and Clive's separation. The main storyline followed the renovation of an old farmhouse, which was supposed to symbolize hope and rebuilding. Reuben, now leading much of the work, was responsible for preparing the site with his team. He had done similar jobs before, and despite tough weather and delays, he was confident in managing it. But things took a turn when Amanda arrived at the build site without warning. She had reportedly heard that the work wasn't progressing fast enough, and was upset that some decisions had been made without her input. On that day, Reuben had accidentally gotten a piece of machinery stuck in rough ground. Amanda, already frustrated, confronted him in front of the cameras. Her words weren't just about the machine or the project. According to people present, Amanda's frustration was deeply personal. She began criticizing Reuben's effort, leadership, and dedication. It wasn't just a mother correcting her son. It felt like she was questioning his value in the family. Then, she delivered a line that viewers found especially hurtful. She told Reuben, "Your father is going to kill you. We are done." These words hit hard. It didn't sound like advice or support. It sounded like a warning that his place in the project, and perhaps even in the family, was at risk. Cameras captured the moment Reuben's expression changed. He didn't fight back. He didn't say anything. He simply walked away from the site, leaving Amanda standing alone, surrounded by construction equipment and an uncomfortable silence. Behind the scenes, filming stopped for over an hour. Crew members weren't sure if Reuben would come back. Many described the mood as painful and tense. Amanda didn't appear sorry, just frustrated. Some whispered that her reaction wasn't just tough love, but a sign of long-standing control and emotional pressure that had never been talked about publicly. Reuben's walk-off was more than just an emotional moment. It was his quiet way of standing up for himself. Insiders later shared that Reuben had been uncomfortable for some time about how deeply their lives had become tied to the television show and public image. This time, instead of keeping quiet, his frustration was seen by the whole world. Fans reacted immediately. Social media lit up with comments, and many people voiced strong support for Reuben. Some said Amanda's reaction could be explained by stress. But most viewers saw it as something deeper, an example of emotional pressure caught on camera. What used to look like a hard-working family now appeared strained and broken. Amanda had always been praised as the strong Yorkshire shepherdess, a tough but loving mother leading her family through the challenges of rural life. But after this episode aired, that image started to change. People began to see not just a strong woman, but someone who may have pushed her children too hard, expected too much, and forgot to offer support when they needed it most. This wasn't just TV drama. It was real family pain playing out on screen. The moment made fans question what had really been going on behind the scenes all along. Amanda Owen, once celebrated as the strong, calm center of Britain's most famous farming family, shocked millions when she cornered her own son Reuben in a tense on-camera confrontation. Her words were sharp, and her tone made it clear. Reuben's place in the family's legacy, one that he had helped build from a young age, could be taken away. This intense moment quickly became one of the most talked-about scenes in British reality television. After the episode aired, public reaction was immediate and explosive. Social media platforms lit up with concerned viewers who said they had just witnessed the emotional collapse of a young man who had been pushed too far. Many fans of our Yorkshire farm were deeply unsettled, not only by the harsh words exchanged on screen but by what it revealed about life behind the cameras. Reuben, once a quiet figure in the background, became the center of a nationwide conversation about the emotional toll of growing up in front of a camera. According to sources close to the family, Reuben left the set right after the confrontation. He didn't return for the rest of the filming that week. He also reportedly ignored calls from the production team and kept his distance from Amanda, choosing to stay at his father Clive's home instead. Friends of the family described him as emotionally drained but firm in his decision to step away. One family acquaintance said Reuben didn't just feel hurt. He felt humiliated, both as a son and as someone who had worked hard on the farm for years. It wasn't just a family disagreement. To him, it felt like his dignity had been stripped away in public. Then came a surprising turn. Reuben appeared on the talk show Love Your Weekend with Alan Titchmarsh. The interview was expected to be a relaxed chat about farming, but it quickly took a more serious tone when Alan brought up the recent drama. Though Reuben remained calm and respectful, his words made a powerful impact. He confirmed that what viewers saw between him and Amanda was not scripted or staged. He admitted feeling unsupported and unheard during the argument, and he also shared that this wasn't the first time he had questioned his place in the family's on-screen life. Reuben spoke honestly about how difficult it was to live under constant pressure while being filmed. He explained that while he loved farming, being part of a reality show often made his life feel fake or exaggerated. The cameras, he said, created a version of the Owen family that wasn't always real. When emotions ran high or mistakes were made, they were often edited out or shaped to fit a certain story. He expressed how hard it was to be vulnerable or honest when every move might be turned into a headline. His interview made waves. Support for Reuben poured in online, and the public conversation shifted. Suddenly, the focus wasn't just on Amanda's success or the charm of rural life. It was on the emotional burden placed on children raised on reality TV. Media outlets began writing about emotional exploitation, and critics started asking serious questions about how much control children in these shows actually have. Channel 5 and the show's production team even held emergency meetings to try and manage the backlash, reportedly considering changes to upcoming episodes to soften Amanda's image. But for many viewers, the damage was already done. Behind the scenes, Amanda remained mostly silent. While she continued to post on social media and promote the show, especially highlighting the younger children, Reuben's absence became more noticeable with each passing day. Observers noted that Amanda's carefully built brand as the Yorkshire shepherdess was beginning to crack. The image of a strong, nurturing mother guiding her large family through rural life was no longer the whole story. Insiders revealed that Amanda's biggest fear wasn't just bad press, it was losing control of the narrative. For years, she had managed the family's public image down to the smallest detail. She was not just the mother on the screen but the editor behind the scenes. She chose how each child was portrayed, especially Reuben. A former producer shared that Amanda always wanted Reuben to come across as hardworking but still in need of her guidance. If he showed frustration or independence, those parts were often edited out. But Reuben's appearance on Love Your Weekend changed everything. Speaking calmly and clearly, he rewrote the story the public had believed for years. He became a new kind of voice, one not shaped by cameras or careful editing. He spoke for himself, and in doing so, gained widespread support and respect. Today, Reuben is said to be focusing on his own interests, working on mechanical projects and spending more time away from the spotlight. He's living more privately now, but the impact of his words still lingers. What was once Amanda's story alone has now shifted. The public is paying attention to Reuben, his experience, and the emotional cost of growing up on TV, and it may have changed the future of family-based reality shows for good. At 20 years old, Reuben Owen is no longer the teenage boy viewers remember from our Yorkshire farm. He's grown into a man with his own job, his own social life, and most importantly, his own voice. This change became clear during the heated on-air clash with his mother, Amanda. She tried to assert control, but Reuben pushed back, not physically, but emotionally and firmly. It wasn't just about that one moment. It marked the beginning of something bigger, a shift in power and narrative within the Owen family. Amanda, who had long shaped the public image of the family, was reportedly shaken by the incident. In private conversations with people at Channel 5, she expressed concern that her carefully managed media presence was slipping out of her hands. One insider claimed she asked, "How do we stop this from becoming tabloid bait?" But by then it already had. Her worries weren't just about bad press. They were about losing control of a story she had spent years building. Since separating from her husband Clive, Amanda had slowly moved toward more independent projects. She wrote books, gave public talks, and made appearances on cooking and lifestyle programs. Though her public image evolved into that of a strong, independent countryside woman, her success still relied heavily on the warm, wholesome image of her family, especially Reuben. His presence added depth to her brand. Now, with Reuben refusing to take part in her latest shows, including a rumored new farming series, producers have reportedly been left scrambling. One creative director even said, "She's the star, yes, but Reuben's presence gave it generational depth. Without him, the narrative feels hollow." Adding to Amanda's concern is the growing interest in Reuben as an individual. Several production companies have apparently reached out to him about working on new projects, from farming competitions to documentaries on young rural entrepreneurs. And notably, Amanda was not part of these plans. It's been suggested that Amanda always believed she was in charge of telling the family's story. Now, that belief is being tested as Reuben begins to take control of his own narrative. People close to the family say Amanda may be facing a deeper emotional struggle as well. Her children are growing up, and not all of them are happy about the life they lived under the spotlight. Reuben's relationship with his mother had reportedly been strained for some time, especially during his teenage years when filming became more frequent. One former crew member said Reuben grew to hate the cameras, while Amanda still welcomed them. That quiet frustration has now become very public. Amanda has tried to maintain her calm, polished public image, but those who know her say that image is beginning to crack. One family friend revealed, "She's furious, not just at him but at herself. She didn't see it coming and now she can't stop it." Amanda now faces a tough decision: double down on her media brand and hope people forget, or accept that the Owen family story may no longer be hers to control. Meanwhile, Clive Owen, Amanda's ex-husband and Reuben's father, has stayed mostly quiet in public. But privately, he's been speaking out more since the fallout. According to people close to the family, Clive's reaction to Reuben's breakdown was blunt and honest. "This was always coming." Clive had long been uncomfortable with the cameras, especially when it came to how they affected the children. He reportedly warned Amanda and the show's producers several times that Reuben was under pressure and struggling, but those concerns were dismissed. After Amanda and Clive separated in 2022, their different views on family and fame became even clearer. Amanda leaned into public life and media appearances, while Clive chose a quieter path. He focused on farming, routine, and building trust again with his children, especially Reuben. People who've spoken with Clive say he never saw the incident as a one-time outburst. Instead, he saw it as the result of years of pressure, emotional stress, and a lack of privacy. Clive, who has admitted to dealing with anger in the past, recognized the signs in his son and regretted not doing more to protect him earlier. Clive has since reached out to Reuben, offering support and reassurance. His main focus has been Reuben's emotional health, not the show or public opinion. Their relationship seems to have grown stronger in the process. Reuben has been seen spending more time at Clive's home and even posting photos of them together, fueling speculation that he's quietly aligning himself with his father rather than his mother. This shift has not gone unnoticed. Those working on Amanda's future projects are reportedly worried that a visible bond between Clive and Reuben could further damage Amanda's public image. Reuben is now seen by many as the one who was mistreated, the voice of reason in a family pushed too far by fame. If Clive stands beside him, Amanda's narrative could weaken even more. As things continue to unfold, Clive's quiet warning now seems prophetic. This wasn't just an emotional moment between a mother and her son. It was the breaking point of years of conflict between family life and public exposure. As one person close to the Owens put it, "This isn't just about a son yelling at his mom. It's about a family living two different realities, one for the cameras and one behind closed doors, and now those two worlds are crashing into each other. Clive may not speak often, but his message is clear. You can't raise children in front of millions of viewers and expect them not to crack. Since the emotional and very public moment that shocked viewers and lit up headlines, Reuben Owen has stepped back from the spotlight, but the attention hasn't gone away. At just 20 years old, Reuben, the once camera-shy son of Amanda and Clive Owen, is now at the center of national conversation. People are still asking, was his on-air outburst a sign of emotional struggle, or was it a bold decision to finally take control of his life, a life that was broadcast before he could even choose it? There hasn't been any official statement from Reuben, Amanda, Clive, or even Channel 5. But quiet signs are telling their own story. Reuben has reportedly moved away from the family's main Raven Seat farm, and now lives in a converted barn near his father's place. According to locals, this isn't a retreat in fear, it's a move toward peace. One neighbor described it this way. He's not hiding. He's resetting. Clive comes by, but Reuben's doing his own thing, fixing machines, working here and there, and living simply like he always liked. Those close to the family say this is not isolation but a clear decision to step away from the world of cameras and media pressure. He's focusing on getting back to a normal life, not fame.